Okay, please be seated in the courtroom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. This witness has been sworn outside your presence, so you may proceed when you're ready, Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
Yes, I'm Melody Flores.
And Ms. Flores, what do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at with the school district in Uvalde at Robb.
And where do you work now?
I work in Beeville ISD.
And what do you do at Beeville ISD?
I'm a bus aide.
A bus aide?
Yes.
And tell us what a bus aide is.
Bus aide is when you go with the driver, and it's my part is the special ed bus, so I make sure they're seated with their seatbelts at all times and follow the rules on the bus.
So your assignment is basically the special ed children
Yes,
on the bus.
yes.
You help
Yes.
make sure they're following the rules while they're
Yes.
on the bus. Thank you. And when did you start that work?
I started back in January, which I already have a year working with it.
So you have a year, so it's been just right out a year since you started that work.
Yes.
And before that work, what did you do?
I was working at with the school district in Uvalde, at Robb at that time.
And how long had you lived in Uvalde?
I want to say like 25 years.
25
And I worked
years?
with the school district there for 23.
Okay. And what did you do at the school district for those 23 years?
First I started off as a parent liaison, and then I started as an instructional aide.
And tell us what an instructional aide
An
is.
instructional aide is helping a teacher with some of the students that need the extra help.
And the kids that need extra help, what kind of kids are we visiting about now?
They're like the lower, like
Excuse me?
the lower class, the lower, like their studies.
Their
So,
studies
yes.
need help.
Yes.
And you assist in that way?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And in 2022, that school year, what were you doing?
The 2 years there at Robb, I was an instructional aide with a 4th grade teacher, and then these last 2 years there, I was a behavior unit aide and special ed aide also.
Behavioral unit aide and special ed
Yes.
aide? Tell me what those two things are.
Special ed is I would do part helping with the special ed students, and the behavior unit I would do the other half with just a student. With the
Behavioral
behavior,
aid, you would
with
just
the-
work with one student
Yes,
at a time?
I would do half and half day with them and the
And
other
what
half.
did you do with those students?
With those students,
When you aided, what kind of activities were you doing?
oh, of course, like if they would, I guess you want to call it like, do a little outburst or something, just to calm them down, talk to them, and just to keep them calm.
So your job was to calm kids, behavioral kids
Basically,
down.
yes. Yes.
And I'm sorry, sometimes I'm talking and you're talking and the court reporter's going to yell at me if I do that. So, and so was that a full-time job?
Yes, yes.
When did your day start?
At Robb,
Yes.
like in the morning, or are you talking about the year?
Well, I was talking about the mornings,
The morning. My time was from 7 in the morning till 3:30.
7 in the morning until 3:30.
Yes.
And where did you report at 7:30?
At 7, I would go into the office to clock in.
And after you clocked in, what did you do?
Then I would go sit my stuff in the classroom and wait out there. Well, not wait, but to do the duty that I needed to do.
So before school started, you would do bus duty
Because I had to wait for some of the students.
for your kids specifically?
Right, yes.
And how many kids did you take care of?
At that time, it was 3, actually. You had to wait for 3 of them to get off the bus. There was 2 and 1, and then the other one was later on, a couple of minutes after. Yes.
So 2 buses, but you ended up with 3 children.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what did you do with the children?
And then I would, of course, take them if they needed to go to eat breakfast and stuff. I would take them, and then we report to the room, to the classroom.
Okay. And now I'll direct your attention to May 24, 2022. You were working that day?
Yes, I was.
And did you go through the same procedure early in the morning that you just described to the jury?
Yes.
And did the kids go to the cafeteria then?
At that day, like I said, I was waiting for one of them to take them, which he didn't show up that day. But we did take the other students. Yes.
And so that morning, how many students did you have?
2 that got off the bus, but in the classroom we had about 4 or 5 that day.
That you were not responsible for taking off the bus, the other 2 or 3?
I was, but they, like I said, one of them didn't show up for that day.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. What did y'all do that morning?
That morning we just were just in the classroom, keeping them busy with activities and stuff like that before it was our time to report to the cafeteria for their awards.
So they had an awards day?
Yes.
And what time was the awards day?
I don't remember exactly what time. It was our turn to go to report to the cafeteria.
And how long did you stay at awards day?
We were done, and then we just waited there for a couple of more minutes, and we saw the other teachers with the classrooms, and while they were presenting the awards to them, I want to say maybe like, I don't know,
So you
20,
don't
30
have-
minutes, I guess.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Like 20 to 30 minutes that we stayed there, so they,
Okay. And are we in mid-morning now?
yes, just
And then after the awards were presented, what did you and the class do?
like I said, we waited there for a couple of minutes, and then our teacher said we're ready to take the students back to the classroom. So that's what we did.
And what age were these students?
We had 3rd and 4th graders at that time.
Okay. And did you get back to the classroom?
Yes, we did. We did.
And what happened next?
We were there, and and it was like almost time for them to have their lunch, where we had somebody bring their lunches to the classroom because they eat in the classroom.
Okay. Do all students have the option then of having their lunches brought to them in the classroom?
Yes.
Okay. And so what did you do in regard to lunch?
What I did is we were there, and of course we had the TV on, that's cartoons, some music and stuff for them, and they were eating, and of course they were watching TV and stuff. And the teacher already was already eating her lunch, and I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and warm up my lunch, and that's what I did.
So you were eating your lunch as the children were eating their lunch?
Right, just about, yes, because I was just ready to warm it up.
And did anything disturb your lunch?
Yes, it did.
And what was that?
I had the school radio, which I carry with me.
Let me
And,
stop you there then. Tell me about the school radio.
It's a radio that I carry where we can communicate.
And
Like
who can you
office or,
communicate with?
excuse me?
Who do you communicate with?
Whoever calls me, or I need to call somebody.
Is it just for that school, just for
Yes,
Robb
just
School?
for that, yes.
Okay. And is it just adults or is it kids too?
No, it's just for the employees only.
And you keep that radio with you?
Yes.
And you got a call on the radio?
Oh, I didn't actually get a call. There was a call, and we didn't understand what they had said, because the teacher said, "What did she say?" I said, "I have no idea, because I don't know. I couldn't understand." And then
So the first communication, you couldn't understand
No.
what was being said?
and then the second time it called, and they said that there was a shooter, and he was jumping the fence and had a gun.
Do y'all have a fence around Robb School?
Yes, we do.
And could you describe that fence?
It's chain link, I think that's what you call it. It's all around the perimeter of the school.
Okay. And what were the words that you heard?
When we kind of understood, they said that he's jumping over the fence, he's shooting, he has a gun.
So a man jumping over the fence, shooting, and has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did you do when you heard those words?
When I heard that, I just got the radio, clicked it back where I would clip it at, and I just ran outside. And as I'm running outside, one of the coaches was running this direction, getting the other students and teachers, I guess, in. I don't know what they were doing or what they were at. So I run the opposite direction and run down a sidewalk where some fourth grade students and teachers were coming out from that door, from that building.
Let me stop you for a second. What is a lockdown?
A lockdown is where you get all the students in, make sure your doors are locked, lights are off, quiet.
And what causes lockdowns?
You want to say, I don't know, like high-speed chase, bailouts, and things like that.
Would an indication that there was a shooter, somebody that jumped the fence and was shooting, would that cause a lockdown?
Yes, definitely, yes.
So normally you would stay inside and lock the doors?
Yes.
Tell us why you didn't do that.
Because I knew the schedule that we had, and we already knew who was outside at that time and who wasn't, and things like that.
And who would be outside at that time?
Some of the students with some of the teachers either having recess or just coming out from lunch or before lunch in the playground.
So it was your understanding of the schedule that caused you to go outside?
Because what they had said was said on the radio.
And what was the schedule for people being outside at that time?
What was it like? Like I said, it was someone were going out to recess, or someone going to lunch, or someone coming out from lunch.
And so that was your concern?
At that time, yes, because if there was kids outside, like I said, there were some of the classrooms and teachers were coming out from that fourth grade building door, and that's when, because that's when I heard that. Well, of course, we have to take precautions with that and stuff. And as I was running over there, I was telling them to get back in, and they were like, it's kind of confused for me telling them to go back in.
Who were you telling to go back in?
The classroom, the fourth grade classrooms that were coming out with some of the teachers.
And where on the fourth grade classroom were you?
I was running down the sidewalk, going to that building, to the fourth grade building, because I was actually in my classroom at that time.
And the north side, or the south side, or the east side, or the west side?
It was on the south, on the side of where the pavilion, where they have PE, that building. There's that door. They come out from there.
The announcement to you had been that there was a shooter?
Yes.
But wouldn't that pose a threat to you?
Right, but I wanted to make sure that the kids were in and safe.
And so you ran to the south side?
Yes, and
Were there kids out?
they were coming out, yes, and then I believe
Coming
there
out
was
of where, ma'am?
the fourth grade building door.
Okay.
And I kept telling them to go back, and they were confused, like, why? I guess there's fire shots, and that's when they ran back in to the building.
And where were you when you were telling the children to go back in?
Like I said, I was running down the sidewalk, and when we all heard that, they went in, and I kept running to make sure. Once they all went in, I wanted to make sure that door was locked.
Okay. And so as you were running down this toward the fourth grade, did all the children get back inside?
Yes, yes.
Did you leave until all the children got back inside?
I didn't make it to the door to see if it was locked or not.
So you were headed to the south door for the purpose of locking it?
Oh, making sure it was locked.
And why did you want the door locked?
So nobody would go in, whoever was there.
But you didn't make it to the south door?
No, I didn't.
Tell us why.
Because there's right there an area in the corner where the ACs are at, and it's fenced up. And that's when I saw the shooter right there.
Had you seen him before that period?
No, I didn't. No. It was
You
just
just
that
seen
time when I
kids?
saw him.
And so it was right by the ACs?
Yes, right in the corner. That's where.
Describe what you saw.
like I said, I didn't make it to the door because that's when I saw him. He was wearing all black and a hoodie. Then the hoodie just fell off him and had curly that kind of shoulder length there. And that's when he started shooting at me.
And he was wearing all black?
Mhm.
And how did you know he was shooting at you?
Because he just stood there and lifted up this rifle as I started running back.
At one point, did you think it was a handgun?
I thought it was at one point, yes.
Okay, but this is, a lot of media has passed since then, is that correct?
Yes.
But at the time, that's mainly what we want to know about, is at the time that you observed it as opposed to other influences, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, you thought it was what?
I thought it was just a regular handgun or something.
And why did you think he was shooting at you?
I mean, because I was running and he just kept shooting, and when I looked back, all I could see was that he was still standing there, and all I could see was just the fire coming out of the barrel.
Okay. Now, when you saw him, what did you do specifically?
I just ran. I ran away from him.
And did you take a pattern as you ran?
I did. I was running, and
Excuse me?
I was running, and then I looked back. Like I said, that's when he was still standing there and was shooting, and I could see the fire from the barrel. And then all of a sudden, I ended up on the ground. I was on the ground.
You fell down?
Mm-hmm.
Let me stop for a second. I never asked you, do you recall what you were wearing that day?
I want to say some khaki slacks with the orange peach color shirt.
Okay. And you fell down?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think when you fell down?
I thought he had shot me.
Just because of the circumstances that
Yeah.
occurred. Had you been shot?
Have I?
Had you been shot?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. And how long did you stay on the ground?
I want to say just a couple of seconds because I was like, I need to make sure, these kids are in to make sure these kids, I take them in somewhere for them to be safe.
So you got up immediately?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened when you got up?
When I got up, I seen this vehicle drive right up to me, and I was telling him.
Describe the vehicle?
It's a white vehicle. I know it was a PD vehicle, but it didn't have, all the, I guess you want to call this logos on there or something. It was just a plain vehicle, white vehicle.
And when you got up, where was the vehicle?
It was like kind of like almost parked next to
almost parked. And
where I was at on the ground.
And what happened then?
That's when I said that he was heading into the fourth grade building, and we needed to stop him. We needed to go in and stop him before he went in.
Who did you say that to?
It was a PD. I cannot. I can't recall.
You didn't know him or be able to
I
identify him?
really didn't know who.
And what did you say to him?
I told him that he needed to get stopped before he went into the fourth grade building, and we needed just to stop him.
And what did he say?
He did nothing.
Did you say it more than once?
I did
What did you say the second time?
the same thing, but
Which was what?
we need to go in and we need to stop him. He needs to be stopped before he goes into the fourth grade building.
Did you tell him what he was wearing?
No, I didn't. No.
Did you tell him where he was?
I think I told him he's right there running in. He's in the corner. He's running in to the fourth grade building.
And did you use any arm gestures to point out where he was?
I did.
Tell us about that.
I just kept pointing. He's going in there. He's going to the fourth grade building.
And how many times did you say that?
I want to say a couple of times.
And did you hear anything from this gunman while you were talking to the police officer?
To the gunman, the shooter,
Uh-huh.
I just kept hearing shots.
You heard gunshots?
Yes.
Where were they coming from?
That's where he was going into the fourth grade area.
That south area?
Yes.
Could you see the gunman at that time?
No, I couldn't. No.
But you heard where the gunshots were coming
Yes.
from? And when you heard the gunshots, what reaction did that have with you?
Like I said, I just had to make sure that everybody was in, the kids, and as I'm getting up and trying to find a place, I see a teacher, a second grade teacher. I'm not sure exactly what she was doing. I don't know if she was the last one in or she was opening. I don't know. So when I went over there, she told me if I wanted to go in. I said no, because I need to make sure your door's locked. And so
Let me just stop. I think you're getting a little ahead of
Oh,
us at this time. How long had you been talking to the police officer when you heard the continued gunshots at the south end?
a couple of seconds,
Just a second or two.
maybe 3 to 5.
And how many shots did you hear?
Couple.
Okay. And when you heard the shots, did that cause a reaction from you? Did you say anything to the officer?
Like I said, I kept telling him that he needed to be stopped. He was going before he goes into the fourth grade building.
And while you were talking to the officer, did anything on the east side of that fourth grade wing catch your attention?
The east side is you talking about
The side that, yes ma'am, that you were on,
it was just shots.
there were more shots? Did you see the window break?
I did not.
Excuse me?
I didn't.
Okay.
I could not see where I was at. I could not see it from the other side, but I could just hear
Okay, you
the
couldn't
shots.
see the west side,
Right.
and then the other side, the east side, did you ever see any of those windows break?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. When you told the officer to go in, did he go in?
No.
What did he do?
Yes, he just stayed there. Because, like I said, that's when I ran to see if everybody else was in and find a place.
He just stayed there?
I believe so.
And about how many times did you urge him to go in and do something?
Like I said, it was a couple of times.
A couple, does that mean twice?
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times? Okay. Then what did you do?
And that's when, like I said, I got up and I saw the second grade teacher on her door of the classroom, and she asked me if I wanted to go in, and I said, no, I need to make sure the door's locked. and it was locked. And I went in, and when I went in, she already had the kids in the corner covered with her bookshelves, to protect them, and her phone was ringing, and her blinds were still up. And I said, you need to put your phone on silent or turn it off, and we need to put the blinds down and close them. So I guess while she was doing that, I'm not too sure, like I said, I put the blinds down and closed them up.
And where were you when this happened?
What do you mean? I was in,
What room?
I don't remember the room number, but it was a second grade teacher classroom.
While you were in the room, what happened?
And then I started looking around. I gathered some papers from different desks that were there and taped them up and taped them to the door window. And then I put a chair on the door handle, which I guess I didn't do it right because it fell. And just telling the kids for them to stay quiet. I wasn't going to let nobody.
Excuse me?
I wasn't going to let nobody hurt them.
Did the kids stay quiet?
Yes, but you can still hear them when they were like crying and stuff.
And where were the kids?
They were in that classroom. They were, as soon as we walk in, they were on the left side with the bookshelves around them.
And is that how they've been trained?
Yes.
And while you were in the room, did you hear anything else from the gunman?
I heard nothing but shots.
You continued hearing shots? Could you describe how many?
I just kept shooting and shooting.
And you could hear that where you were?
Oh, yes.
How long were you in the room?
That day for me was like fast forward, slow motion day for me. I don't know.
While you were in the room, what were you considering or thinking or planning? Did you do anything like that while you were in the room?
I was just like, I mean, what can I do if he doesn't come here, and I did grab some scissors that were there. I said, I can protect not only myself, but the kids if he does or comes in here or something.
Scissors are about all teachers or kids had in the room.
It was the teacher's scissors.
They were teachers'
Mhm.
scissors. And any other planning?
Would you?
Did you do any other thinking about what would happen?
That's about it. I mean,
okay. Fair enough. How long were you in the room about?
it was a while. I don't remember because, like I said, it was a while.
And how did you leave the room?
I guess whoever was going by classroom in that area was knocking on the door, and which we got a knock, and I was trying to tell the second grade teacher not to open the door because at that time they didn't say who it was or anything like that. But she went in and opened the door, but it was law enforcement.
Okay. And what did law enforcement do?
They said that if we're okay and stuff, and they were there, but for us to wait because they were still gonna go down the hallway, classrooms, and then they will be back for us to.
And did they come back for you?
Yes, they did.
How much later did they come back for you?
It didn't take them that long until they finished going down the classrooms down that hall.
And when they came back, what happened?
When they came back, they said for them to hold their hands together and go behind each other and
Do
follow them.
what?
To go behind each other and hold hands and to follow them.
And did the kids do as they were told?
Yes.
And where did y'all go?
They took us down like 2-3 blocks down the street away from the school.
And then what happened?
And we just waited there
Until when?
until they brought buses or whatever vehicles they could get to pick us up.
And you were taken where?
We were taken to the Civic Center at that time.
Is that where the children were reunited with their family?
Right, yes.
And as far as you're familiar with that grounds and those areas that you just described for the jury,
Yes.
and have you been out with personnel from the DA's office to pinpoint the things you saw and where you were, where the
Yes.
gunman was, as well as where the officer was?
Yes.
And were photographs taken during that time?
I'm not sure.
You didn't take any photographs?
No, I don't think so.
May I approach that?
Yes, sir.
Showing you exhibits 921. this area?
Yes.
And 922?
Yes.
And 923?
Mm-hmm.
And 924?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation, finally, at 924, where the cone's replaced by your correction? Is that correct?
Yes.
State offers 921 through 924.
No objection, Your Honor.
They're admitted.
And they be displayed.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Flores, these are going to be displayed and they're going to be shown back on that TV to your right, so that we don't stand in front of the jury and use that point in my videos. Okay? Starting with State's Exhibit 921. Can you tell us when you got that first radio communication where you would have been?
I would have been in that area over there. That's the classroom.
If you need to stand up to get close to it.
I was in this area right here. That's where my classroom was at.
And you're talking about the second building from the bottom.
Yes.
And was that's your classroom?
Yes.
And when you heard the communication, you didn't understand that communication, but you heard a second one?
Yes, I did.
And tell me about that one.
They just said he's jumping over the fence. He's got a gun. He's shooting.
And where is the fence?
This is way over here.
Okay. So you get a communication and the gunman is jumping over the fence shooting. And where do you go?
I guess I'm coming out, and I start running over here, this direction, because this is where some of the fourth grade students and teachers are coming out. And I'm running, and I'm telling them to go back in, and that's when they're gunshots. And I just made it just so.
Okay, let me stop you for just a second. So you ran in the direction where you believe the gunman was jumping the fence?
I didn't really know what direction or who this person was until I saw him right here on the screen.
Okay, so you didn't know where he was. All you had was information that somebody has jumped a fence and they're shooting.
Yes.
You didn't know where they were,
No.
but you acted.
You're right.
And you acted for what purpose?
To be safe.
Save who?
Everybody, the students, everybody.
And what, did you see students?
I saw what they were coming out of this building right here.
And how far out did they get?
I guess they got just about right there.
So they hadn't yet gotten to the green area.
Not these.
And where are you at this point? You see the kids?
Yes, I was like right here, telling them, yelling at them for them to get back. And that's when they heard gunshots, and that's when they went back. And I guess I just made it to right here while the gunman comes out right here.
Okay, about how many kids were outside?
Outside, out here. I don't remember.
Fair enough. And is there a recess area?
I guess the recess area is over here in the pavilion pew area, and I guess it's in this area. Some recess.
So there's several recess areas?
Not several, but there's many of they say that there's too many in the playground area. Some just stay on this area right here.
Okay. And so you don't see the gunman when you see the children,
No, I don't. I just hear the shots.
but when the children get in, you have an intention?
Yeah, that's when he's right here, comes out right here.
And you're talking about at the southwest corner?
Yes.
And when you see him, you also saw the gun?
Yes.
So you didn't stay long?
No.
What did you do when you saw the gun?
I stopped there, so like I said, I saw him right here, and I just ran this direction right here.
And show me again, a little more slowly, the direction. Okay. And then at the bottom of that photograph, there is just a small white corner. Can you see that? Is there another building there?
Was it this one right here?
Yes. That's the last building on the campus, as far as south, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. But that's the direction in general that you were running?
Yes.
And when you turned to run then, I suppose you weren't watching the gunman?
Not until I said, well, let me see if he's running behind me, you know, and that's when I looked back to see if he was still there or not. But he was still right here.
Okay. And where did you fall?
I felt somewhere around this area right here.
And can you describe what vehicle that is that's on the photograph?
That's one of the.
Excuse me?
That's a PD vehicle.
Is that the place that the PD vehicle parked?
It was a different one.
Excuse me?
It was a different vehicle.
You think it was different? How was it different?
Because it didn't have, I guess, the logos on there. It was just a plain white four-door car.
So you don't remember any logos?
No.
From that, you believe it was a different vehicle. Was there more than one vehicle that arrived, police vehicle that arrived while you were there?
That was the only one.
Okay.
The one I saw. So that's when I ran into this area right here.
Okay,
Went
but
into
before
the
you
country.
ran in, did you have a conversation? Did you talk to the officer?
I didn't talk to anybody. I was just telling them,
What were you telling him?
like, we need to go in. He needs to be stopped.
And where was he?
He was, like I said, there was the other vehicle was here, and he was just, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but he was just like running back and forth.
Pacing back and forth?
Yes.
As you were telling him to go in?
Yeah.
And you pointed to where he was?
Yes.
And then where did you go?
Like I said, I believe this is a second grade building, and I went into one of these second grade classrooms.
Thank you. You can sit back down. Showing you State's Exhibit 922. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
I believe it was that vehicle.
Excuse me?
I believe it was that vehicle that I saw when.
Okay. So now we see two vehicles, and you believe it was that one?
Yes.
And on the first vehicle, is there markings that you can see there?
No.
Would you approach it?
Would you?
Would you just get closer to it to see if you can say what's on the side?
On what side are you correct?
I'm sorry, may I approach her?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Flores, I'm just asking you, does this say police?
Yes, it does.
And Uvalde CISD? Thank you. In State's Exhibit 923, is this the time that you went out to show us where you were?
Yes.
And would you point out how far down you got as you were helping the kids?
So just about where the cone's at. This area right here.
And is there a second cone there?
Yes.
What is that?
That's kind of like where the gunman comes out.
And State's Exhibit 924. Do you see that first cone still at where you were when you were telling the kids? And did you show us the direction of the path that you ran?
I believe it was somewhere right in here, this area.
So from that farthest cone, you ran to the second cone. Would you point out which cone?
Somewhere right here.
And then the third cone?
I fell in somewhere in this area. That's
Is
where I
that
ended
where
up
you
on the
fell?
ground. That's where I kind of ended at on the ground.
And where was the police car?
Still somewhere right over here.
And does that fourth cone indicate where the officer was?
About this one there?
Yes.
Yes. So.
Thank you. Sit down. Ms. Forrest, when this happened to you, did you talk to your family?
At that time when I was in the classroom, I did. I called one of my brothers
And why did you call your brother?
to let him know what was going on.
And did you find out what was going on?
Yes, there was a
And
shooting going on.
Excuse me?
There was a shooting going on. There's a shooter on the campus.
And did your brother have any advice for you?
I told him what was going on and what happened. He just said for me to hide and to check myself if I was shot or not.
Did you eventually go to the police with this information?
To the police.
Did you give a statement to the police about what you just told the jury?
I know, because I left out of town, and when I had told him that I wanted to come back when the funeral services started. So I did. I came the day before, and they had a report to the Fairplex.
To who?
I had a report to the Fairplex, but I didn't make any reports to as the PD as you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Did you eventually give a statement to police officers?
It was when I got there at the Fairplex. It was Texas Ranger.
Oh, a Texas Ranger. Okay. Thank you. And how is it that you got with the Texas Ranger?
Because I went in there and I had some people there. I don't know. They were like counselors and stuff like that, and that's when they told me that Texas Rangers need to speak to one of them or something. I really don't know exactly how it all started there. I eventually ended up talking to a Texas Ranger.
But you just remember talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
May I proceed, Judge?
Please.
Good morning, Ms. Flores.
Good morning.
My name is Nico LaHood. I'm one of the lawyers that represents Adrian. I'm assuming you've never testified before?
No, never.
Okay. You're a little nervous?
Yeah.
And it's emotional. So there's no gotchas here. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Okay.
And I may ask you questions about what you perceived or what you remembered.
Mhm.
And it's not that I'm questioning your character, but we're going to be, I may be questioning your perception or your memory, okay?
Okay.
But just don't think that as a personal attack.
Okay.
It's going to be just observational questions, okay? If you don't understand my questions, you ask me to repeat them and I will.
Okay.
And if we need to go slow, we need to stop, I'll do that, okay? And for the court reporter, you have to say yes or you have to say a word because she's typing it down.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So you were, it seems like for Robb Elementary and for Beville currently, you are a special education aide.
Yes.
I'm going to take a side note here. I'm a daddy of a special needs son, so I appreciate what you and all professionals like you do.
Thank you.
There is no doubt in my mind you're a special type of woman. You've been doing that for 23 years, 25 years?
Yes, sir.
That is a unique type of teacher, so my wife and I thank you, okay?
Thank you.
Because you talked, and I knew that because I'm sure you're involved in ARD meetings, right? Those assessments.
At one point I was.
Okay, and that's part of your duties,
Yeah.
dealing with special
Yeah.
needs kids. But you described outbursts, and you have to deal with outbursts, and,
Yes.
and as a daddy of a son on the spectrum, it's a meltdown. They have a sensory overload, and
Right.
it can be intense.
Yes.
And so it takes a lot of patience, and thank you for that. So I want to direct your attention to May 24th, 2022. We're going to get into this. And you testified that everything started the way it normally does for you, and you went
Yes.
through the procedures with the government. At some point, you were eating lunch, and you described where that was, and you heard on the radio something, but you didn't understand what it was.
At first. Right. Correct.
And then it came in again, and except shooter jumped a fence, has a gun, something of that nature.
Yes.
And you responded, right? You left the building and you wanted to make sure that the kids were not outside.
Right.
Because the initial report, and you had not seen anything, was that there was someone that jumped that fence, and you know where that perimeter fence is.
Yes.
And you didn't know what direction they were going, but you were just rather be safe than sorry, and you went outside.
Yes. That's
correct. So you get outside, and your instincts were correct. There were some children that were trying to come out of that south end of the fourth grade building.
Yes.
Now, you had already seen, because you could see the playground, there were no kids in the playground, thankfully.
Right.
Right, so there were no kids on the playground. You were focused, when you got out there, you were focused on those children.
Yes.
Coming out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And can I have State's Government's Exhibit, was it 920, 922? Oh. I'm going to walk beside you, okay, Ms. Torres? Thank you. And so you come out here, you can scan this area, and you can see that thankfully there's no kids out here.
Right.
Right? And so you turn and you see children coming out of here, and you tell them to get back.
Yes.
Okay. And so, and that's your focus, and you don't see any children over here, correct?
Correct.
Right. Or over here?
Right.
Okay. Just at that building. And they were confused, but they listened to you and they went back.
Right.
I don't recall, at that time, had you yourself heard any gunfire?
As I was telling the kids to go back in, like I said, that's when we heard, and that's when they kind of started running back in.
Right.
Yes.
But at that time, you hadn't heard gunfire yet. You told them to go in.
Right.
Right. So there were no shots while the children were exiting. Thankfully,
Right.
you got them in before.
Yes.
But then I think you testified. I want to make sure I get it right. So please correct me if I don't. Well, before I get to what actually happened in your experience there, the government asked you about lockdowns. The jury's heard a lot about lockdowns, but one of the things you said is a major part of the lockdown is you have to make sure the doors are locked. You remember saying that?
Yes.
Why is that so important in a lockdown?
Just make sure nobody's going to go in.
And so those doors are really the only barrier between anyone with bad intentions and the teacher and the children inside, right? And so we've heard about the procedures of turning the lights off and hiding and getting away from windows and turning off your phones. But the main barrier of protection are those doors, right?
Right.
And you would agree that there was a policy that all doors at the school needed to be locked
Yes.
at all times.
Right.
And I won't belabor this with you. The jury's heard about teachers having keys and other teachers using magnets and that magnet system or whatever. But the school policy was for the external doors to be locked and the internal doors to be locked, correct?
Correct.
And something caught my attention when you mentioned lockdowns. I think that Mr. Turner asked you, what is the purpose of lockdowns? What is it to protect you from? And your two things you said were high-speed chases and bailouts, right?
Yes.
Because that's in that community, that's you correlate lockdowns to high-speed chases and bailouts, right?
Yes.
Because thankfully there had never been a school shooting before, right?
Right.
And so lockdowns in the community's mind was for that because there was a lot of bailouts at that time, right?
Yes, there was. Yes.
I mean, a lot, right?
Yes.
And so now I want to direct your attention about your engagement here, or what you testified about the shooter. Back up. Start with that. Thank you. So you testified that I think you pointed it out on one of the other ones, and we'll get there. That the shooter was somewhere out here, When he shot at you, you can stand
No,
up if you
he
need
was-
to.
He comes out right here to this point right here.
Is it fair to say, and I want to put words in your mouth, are you saying that he kind of stood on this sidewalk here?
Yes.
Okay. And these shots towards you, are these the first shots that you had heard?
Towards me?
Well, just in general, because you hadn't seen shots before. Thankfully, when the kids weren't there, the kids go back inside. I guess you're coming back here. You're saying to the jury that you see the shooter come out to here, and then that's when he starts shooting at you.
Right.
And where were you when he started shooting at you? That you recall, if you can recall.
I was just running.
Like, do you remember if you were kind of near the? I mean,
I
obviously
was-
this vehicle wasn't there yet, but you were somewhere here, maybe.
Yes, just
Okay.
just about, yes.
And do you recall how many times he was shooting at you? Because I think you said more than one time he just kept shooting and shooting and
I
shooting.
want to say maybe 3 or 6.
So
I
three to
don't
six.
recall exactly, but
Okay.
there were.
Okay. And then you fall down, correct, at
Right.
some point?
Mhm.
Because you look back, and then the shooter doesn't shoot you when you fall down.
No,
Okay.
that's when he started running.
Yes, ma'am. He started running.
Mhm.
Okay. You know now that the shooter shot up this whole side of the school before he
That's
entered, right?
yes.
Are you aware, and I'm just asking you, are you aware that there are no spent casings? You know what a spent casing is?
After you finish.
Yes, ma'am. After you shoot and the projectile goes out,
Mhm.
a semi-automatic weapon will get the
Mhm.
dispel that casing. Are you aware now that there were no casings found over here?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Are you aware, and if you're not, you're not, are you aware that there's no evidence of shooting, they call them defects, that they're shooting in that direction? Are you aware that there are no?
No.
Okay.
Objection is a misstatement of the law, Your Honor, of the facts. If there's a defect in building 24, we put on a number of pictures of it.
Yeah, at the lower level, Judge, and I recognize that one up top.
Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if it conflicts with your memory of the evidence, rely on your own. You may proceed.
And look, I'm not ragging on you. I'm not, because there's a lot of people. I shouldn't say a lot. There are multiple people, even police officers up here, that thought they were getting shot at. I'm just saying. I was just asking, are you aware that there are no shells? That's all, and you're not aware of that.
Right.
So now, I want to make sure the timing's right, because I wasn't sure. Because the way you testified, it made it sound like that this happened right behind each other. So the shooter is here shooting at you. You fall. He doesn't keep shooting. He runs over here, and then the police officer drives up here.
Correct.
That kind of happens simultaneously.
Yes.
And the shooter did not try to shoot at the police officer?
No, because I guess he just kept running
Okay, he kept running.
towards the, yeah.
And so then that's when this officer parked right there. And you were on the ground still, or had you gotten up at the time?
That was not the vehicle though.
If I had to represent to you and the government won't contest me that is the vehicle, but that, again, that's just your perception. In your mind, you perceived it that there were no markings on that vehicle, correct?
Right.
We'll stipulate to that, Your Honor.
Thank you, Bill. And so stipulate means they agree. And let me tell you something. You went through a hellacious experience. There is something called perception distortion. Have you heard about that?
No.
Okay. Where stress. Have you heard of
Yeah.
PTSD?
Yes.
Post-traumatic stress. That has a very serious and real effect on people. And that's why we're asking you these questions. This is not an attack on your character. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I promise you that. So this is the vehicle that was there, but at the time you thought that it didn't have any logos and you were sure of it, right? Even to right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You want to take a moment?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Excuse me, I'm going to pass you up. And so may I have permission to ask you about some of your other perceptions?
Okay.
Okay. You initially described the officer as wearing khaki pants, correct?
Yes.
A white shirt.
I believe it was more like a bluish
No, you said white. Remember, you've spoken to a Texas
Right,
Ranger?
yes, it was,
Right.
yes, I did say, yes.
Okay. You spoke to, well, this for clarity, you've spoken to a Texas Ranger and you spoke to Mr. Rick Garza with the DA's office here, right? This gentleman,
Yes, yes.
am I right? Okay. And so you described that officer in that vehicle as having khaki pants, correct?
Yes,
A white shirt, correct?
yes,
Short sleeve white shirt,
yes.
right? And a full beard.
I wasn't a fool, no.
But that's what you had spoken.
But that's, okay, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You had said that to Mr. Garza and then Ranger Pettis previously, correct?
Right,
Okay. And so if I represent to you that Mr. Gonzales had a dark uniform on, no white shirt, no shirt sleeves, and no khaki pants, and did not have a beard, that's kind of an example of your perception, right?
Right.
In your mind, that's what you saw, right?
yes,
Okay. And so the officer gets out, and at the time you didn't know it was Mr. Gonzales, right? You didn't know it was Adrian.
no, I didn't, really, no.
But that officer, I believe the government asked you, you testified that he just was kind of pacing back and forth?
Yes, he was.
And that's your perception of what he was doing? Is it fair to say that, I mean, I can see it's emotional now, but at the time, because this was real time, that you were frantic. You were extremely excited at the time.
Excited as,
This was traumatic experience.
yeah,
Right? I mean,
Yes.
so you're running out, you get this call, your instincts were correct because you know the school. You have an absolute love for children. I know that, it's obvious to me. And so you go out there to warn children to go back in.
Yes.
You're yelling at them, because I think you're yelling at them to get inside. And then you see this shooter, whether he shot at you or not. I believe you saw him.
mm-hmm,
And then you fall because you're running, because at the very least, you perceive that he's shooting at you. And then you fall, so you think, I believe you told investigators, he got me now, he's going to get me. Right?
right,
Matter of fact, you initially told them that you thought he shot you,
yes,
but he had not shot you, thankfully.
right,
Okay. But you thought he did.
yes,
And so that's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to set this tone. There's a lot going on in your mind at that time, right?
yes,
Okay. And so you perceived Mr. Gonzales as, you didn't know it was him at the time, as pacing, right?
right,
But he was getting out. He's assessing you because you're yelling things at him, right?
yes,
You're saying he's over there, correct?
mm-hmm,
You're with Adrian for somewhere between 2 to 7 minutes, right?
right,
But that you've said that to Mr. Garza before, right? You said that you were with Adrian and you gave yourself a range. You were with him in that scene for anywhere as low as 2
I didn't
minutes.
recognize the PD that was there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What
I
did you
did not. I didn't know. I didn't recognize the PD officer that was there. That was telling that to.
When I mean Adrian, I'm talking about the PD officer.
Okay.
Let me represent to you that Adrian Gonzales, sitting to our left, is the officer that drove that vehicle with the logos on it, okay? And he's
Okay.
the officer that you were dealing with. So if I say Adrian, I'm sorry, I mean Mr. Gonzales, the PD officer, okay?
Okay.
So you're yelling at him instructions, but he's getting out. At some point, there are gunfire, right? At some point, there's
Yes.
gunfire. Do you recall the PD officer? I'll just say PD officer. Do you recall the PD officer radio in and saying shots fired, shots fired?
I don't recall it.
Okay, but if that's on dispatch, that dispatch will be the best evidence for that. Do you recall at some point after getting instruction from you and you're yelling at him and he's ducking, do you remember him moving around the vehicle to get behind it for cover? You didn't know it was cover, but do you remember him getting behind the vehicle?
I know. I would see him. See that PD. Pacing back and forth.
Yes, ma'am. So you're pacing back and forth. Could that be that he was going behind the vehicle to get behind it for cover?
I'm sure.
Okay. Do you recall hearing him say, west side of the building, west side of the building, supposed to be wearing black?
No, I don't.
But when you're talking and yelling at the PD officer, you're pointing to the south side of the building.
Correct.
And look, and it makes sense, Ms. Flores, because those children were coming out of the south side of the building. You have tunnel vision on the south side of the building, right?
Yes.
And so you're focused on that south side of the building, and you're yelling at him, he's going in, but you're thinking south side of the building,
Yes.
right? You thought it so much, understandably, that you were under the impression that the shooter went in the south side of the building. Do you remember that?
No, he went around.
I know that, but at one point,
Right. At what? Yes.
you thought he went in, remember?
Yes.
Do you remember Ranger Pettis had to correct you because you kept asking, and he said, I can tell you for sure he did not go in the south side of the building, and you said, I thought he did.
Okay.
You
Yes.
remember that from
Yes.
your 2 interviews? Okay. And just to give a little bit of context, I believe Mr. Turner was asking you this at the end. You didn't speak to police right away, right?
Right.
The first time you spoke to anybody was on May 31st,
That is correct.
and this incident happened on May 24th.
Right. Because, like I said, I left out of town with my family.
Yes, ma'am, understandably. But by that time, you had seen the news for 6 days, 7 days, right?
Yes. Some of it. Yes.
And you were honest. You told them about that in one of your interviews. That said, I viewed videos, and so you had been watching the news
Yes.
that time, and then you're this traumatic experience, and you're putting your memory together. So all that's going on when you're talking to them. Those 2 interviews, right?
Right.
Okay, understandable. So you're with this officer anywhere between 2 to 7 minutes, correct?
If that's the correct time, yes.
Well, that's what
The
you said
minutes.
to them. Do you remember
Okay.
saying that?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so there's a lot going on, right?
Yes.
Because at some point there's multiple shots, right? And I have permission to walk up to you. The judge has given us that. You now know, and you knew then, that this person shot up all the way until he got into
I
the
could hear
west.
the
I'm going to object to that,
gunshots.
Your Honor, that's not the facts. He's
Okay, once
mistaken.
again, ladies and gentlemen, if it differs with your recollection, rely on your own. You may proceed.
Do you know that the shooter multiple times at the building? I don't know what the government's comfortable
I have
with,
no
but
objection to multiple times at the building, but he pointed all the way up the building. That's what I object to. That's not what.
well, the
facts
evidence
are.
will show what it shows. Judge.
Okay, overruled. You heard my admonishment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So there were multiple shots at this building all the way up until this monster got into the building, right?
Yes.
You know that now.
Yes.
But when you were telling to the Ranger, Pettis, and to Mr. Garza, you in your mind, you really thought that he had entered here.
Yes.
And so you're yelling at the officer, and you're telling him, you're saying he's on this side of the building, and you're pointing here because you really thought it was on the south side of the building. And so there's this dialogue back and forth between you and the officer for those 2 to 7 minutes, right?
Yes.
Because there's a yelling. It's frantic. I mean, understandably, you thought you had been shot. You thought you were being shot at. You're yelling at him. You knew that you got children back in the building, but you thought he followed those kids in the building, right?
Right.
At some point.
Yes. Yes.
And then you explained that he's on the west side of the building, and you say he's on. So there's it's definitely not intentional, but there's kind of this south side, west side discussion going on between you and the officer, right? At some point in this
Yes.
engagement. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. But I really wasn't really listening. I was just.
I know. Have you heard of something called auditory exclusion, where stress makes, you get tunnel vision visually, but then you can exclude things auditorily because there's just so much stress going on. Right. And so there's just a lot going on, a lot of perception, you're communicating with the officer, and because you're really in your heart of hearts, and I don't think anybody doesn't believe you, and these children were in danger, but you had a specific perception of what entrance this man went in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the officer is talking with you. He's communicating with you. He's having to, and he's focused on you too, because did you tell him you thought you were shot?
I didn't tell him.
Okay.
No.
But you're on the ground,
Right.
and when you hit the ground, and I mean hit the ground, I mean when you fell, Do you agree that it created kind of like a dust?
Yes.
Because it's all dirt right there, right?
Right.
And he drives up to you. That's where his car is. He drove all the way up to you, right?
Yes.
So even though there was if you don't know, maybe you know now, that there was a call of a person at the school with a gun, he didn't, obviously that vehicle is not parked on the corner. This officer in this vehicle drove into the trouble, right? He drove in, he acted, he drove to you. They didn't know it was you, but I mean, he drove to your area, right? Are you aware now there were 3 other officers over here?
I didn't. I couldn't see.
You know now.
Okay. Yes.
But this officer isn't these officers, right? They stopped over
Right.
here. This officer made it over here, right?
Right.
At some point, after that 3 to 7 minutes, you described to the jury, and the government asked you, you go to that classroom, Mr. Niño, and you see that officer move up. He moves up at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Okay, he moves?
I'm not sure because, like I said, I was in the classroom doing what I that needed to be done.
And while you're talking to this officer, because there's that 2 to 7 minutes, there's actually shots being fired. You guys both can hear shots.
Right.
So he's hearing shots. You're talking to him. You're giving him instruction. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You said he's pacing, but let me suggest he was taking cover, but he's talking to you, and shots are being fired throughout this whole time.
You had mischaracterization of her testimony.
She can correct me.
She said that he was pacing, not that he was taking cover.
Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if it differs with your recollection, rely on your own, overruled, proceed.
No. I said that you said he was pacing. Do you remember me saying that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and if I say something, you want to correct me, you can say, Nico, stop. I'm going to correct you. You can do that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm going to direct your attention to State's Exhibit 922. Oh, there it is right there. So, you see that second car?
Yes.
Do you recall telling Ranger Pettis and Mr. Garza that at some point when you went to the other classroom, Mr. Niño, and you didn't say it exactly like that you saw this officer, whoever he was, move forward? Move forward. Do you remember saying that?
I don't remember saying that.
Okay, at some point when the jury's out, I can have you listen to your statement, okay? It's the audio, right?
Okay.
We'll stipulate to that, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
We'll stipulate.
Okay, thank you, Bill. So the government has stipulated that at some point when you go to Mr. Niño, you say to them, to the ranger and to Mr. Garza, that you saw the officer move forward, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And when the government showed you, when Mr. Turner showed you this picture, you said, no, that's the vehicle that you thought was here, right?
Right.
Because this one doesn't have any emblems,
Right.
right? So at some point, this officer moves forward to this officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. And you might not have known it was an officer at the time, but are you aware now that you described this officer, Officer Page? He was wearing khaki pants
Really?
and a white shirt, a whiter shirt. He didn't have a beard though. So all I'm saying is there's a lot going on in your mind, right?
Yes.
Okay. So at some point, after 2 to 5 minutes, there's gunfire, you're on the ground, you're yelling at this officer, he's going in here, the kid's in here, save the kids. At some point, and we can see, you can't see anything. You can't see the west side of the building from here, right?
Right.
And neither could the officer.
Right.
And so, see this fence here around the AC unit?
Mm-hmm.
It's a chain link fence, right?
Right.
So you can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell that part of this SUV is behind that chain link fence?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
It's behind there? But you can still see it, right?
Right.
So if an individual was standing there, you could still see an individual standing there, right? So if the shooter was standing there, you would be able to see the shooter from where you were at.
Right.
I understand you perceived him to be out here, but if he was standing there, you could still see the shooter.
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about another one of your perceptions, and I think that Mr. Turner tried to clear it up. At some point, you told Ranger Pettis and Mr. Garza that you believed the gunman had a handgun.
At some point, yes.
And then you when you told them that, you were sure about it. You were sure that it was a handgun, right?
Right.
And then either the ranger or Mr. Garza, I can't tell in the audio, corrected you and said it was a long rifle. It was not a handgun.
Right.
Right. And you correlated the handgun to a handgun that you carry sometimes, and so that's in your mind. That's
right.
what you correlated that to. And so, I want to clear one thing up also. You told the government, ultimately this jury, that when this officer showed up, you gave instructions and that he didn't say anything back to you.
No.
Oh, he did say something back to you?
No, he didn't. No.
But do you remember telling them that he said, which building? And that's
Okay,
what-
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He did say, that officer did say, where's the fourth grade building?
Right. So this officer didn't even know where the fourth grade building was, right?
Right.
Right. Well, at least that's how you perceived it. That's what he said. Because Robb Elementary, unfortunately, did not have a full-time officer there.
No, not that I know of.
Right. But he kept asking you which building. You said fourth grade building. Which building is that?
Right.
And then that's when the discussion about south entrance versus west entrance
Yes.
happened, right? And so all that is within that 2 to 7 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Flores, thank you so much. And I want you to know that all my questions had nothing to do with your character. You have an outstanding character, okay? God bless
Thank
you.
you.
That's the witness.
Greg?
Yes, ma'am. And when you said the fourth grade building, the officer said which building?
Yes, he said, where's
Is that when
where's
you
the fourth
started
grade?
pointing?
Yes,
And where did you point?
to the fourth grade building.
And was the officer standing looking at you as you pointed to the fourth grade building?
At the, yes,
Y'all were having a discussion. He wanted to know where it was, and you pointed it out.
yes,
But he stayed there.
yes.
I want to ask you about that short trip that you had down the walkway toward that south door, toward this door.
Hmm.
And show us about how far you got down toward that south door,
Just about right, somewhere right here.
and where did you see the gunman?
He's standing right here.
Okay. Is there a little culvert just right here, a few steps behind that?
Yes, so it's part of the sidewalk
Okay.
going to the parking lot, fourth grade parking lot.
A culvert where a casing was located?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But the kids go inside the door.
Yes, back in there.
You're focused on them.
Yes.
When you see the man, how's he dressed?
He has the black jeans, the black hoodie, and the hoodie fell down from.
And black's a dark color.
Mhm.
And so if something black is in front of black, it would be a little bit more difficult to articulate what it was.
Yes.
And when you saw the man with what you perceived as a gun, whether handgun or rifle, you turned and ran.
Right.
And when you turned, that means you turned away from him.
Yes.
So you didn't see where he went.
When I was coming somewhere right here, that's when I looked back and he was still in this area here.
Okay. So he was kind of in this same area here.
Yes.
And is that why you thought he was going to the south door? South door.
Right.
Okay. The police car is white. Correct.
Yes.
You saw it.
Yes.
Was the gunman the position that he was facing? Was he in a position to see this white car
I
drive
believe
up?
that's when he starts running this direction.
Sure. When he sees the white car, then you say, you believe that's when he went that direction?
Yes.
Is that just your common sense, or did you see that?
That's what I saw.
Okay. And as far as auditory, auditory exclusion, I believe Mr. LaHood said that an officer got on dispatch and said, shots fired, shots fired. Do you recall him asking you about that?
You talking about?
Mr.
Yes,
LaHood asked
yes.
you about that? And to get on a microphone and say shots fired, indicates either that he heard shots fired or you told him shots were fired. Is that correct?
We could hear shots fired.
Oh, you could hear shots fired?
Yes.
You weren't going through auditory exclusion?
That meaning, like,
I'm sorry.
I mean, that time, I mean, you can hear the shots. And I don't know, I don't recall him
Okay.
or the
So
PD.
you clearly could hear the shots.
Yes.
And you didn't get on the police radio to say shots fired, shots fired.
No.
Okay. But whoever did was in a position to either hear the shots or you told him shots were being fired.
Right.
Did you tell him that shots were being fired?
Well, you can hear them. I
Didn't have to.
no.
Okay. That's what.
I hope you keep teaching special ed kids. I really
Thank
do.
you.
God bless you. No question, Judge.
Okay, recall either side.
Yeah,
No.
there's a subject to recall. I don't want to belabor it, but we might have some follow-up with this, but.
Okay, so you want to recall.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
They should
All right,
leave. They should go to leave town and come back.
Sure.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, the rule's been invoked in this case, and all that means is, since you're subject to recall, you need to stay in touch with the DA's office in the event of a recall. We'll give you as much notice as possible, but more importantly, don't talk to anybody about the case other than the lawyers until you're aware the case is over with. All right?